Hello, can you hear me? Better now? Alright. Morning, Tatiana. I'll share my screen in a bit.
Hi, James.
Alright. 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 So I just installed Primo. Yeah, I'll be building with my accounts, personal accounts. So I'll just, yeah, this is what I'm working on. Yeah, and this should make more sense working like this. Okay. Alright, first things first, I'm going to create a new project in Framer. Yeah, just about started. All right, create a blank project. This is my desktop, and probably just reduce the size of this window. And yeah, so I can have more space for Framer. I'll just rename this because I'm obsessed with lowercase, and just create a new breakpoint, name it tablet, and then another, then phone. So this is probably the first thing you want to do. Of course, maybe apart from naming projects. The project name is S Tracker. Probably want to do some basic setup. So I'll just use this for now so that we can as well preview. Stay. Okay, while that is happening, I'm just going to add the site title of some settings. The site language should be English for now, and maybe site description and all of that. Okay, and then all right. Okay, all right. I'll save this domains and hasn't been published yet. So try again. That didn't work. Well, I don't know why that's taking time, so I'll just get to other things. And yeah, I want to add the Fev icon for this project. So I'll just get to it. So that should be this Fev icon here. Going to export that and probably make that the basic size. So 48 by 48. And please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask anything related to design and development. And then I'm going to export this as SVG and just undo. So Fev icon, upload this, and that would be this. I guess not exactly happy with that. So I'll go again. This time around, I'll just okay, I'll make a duplicate and then try to get a better sizing icon. It's okay. What is fine. All right. So yeah, then just export that as an SVG. So I'm just trying to get something that looks better on the preview. By the way, 64 by 64 was the size, so I think I'll just bump it up to that. 64. And we go again, but an SVG anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, that looks better. So now we're going to change for dark mode. Then have something similar. I'm going to upload. Yeah, we're good. So probably just rename this to Fev icon, then save it somewhere. Oh dear. Okay. All right. So we've done that. We're looking at the social preview image. So I think we already have that. Yeah, that should be this. This. I think this. Yeah. I'm going to upload that. Oh yeah, we have that. So Apple Touch icon, probably going to do the same thing. And these are just basic settings, by the way. Apple is usually precise with the size, so you just want to make sure that it's at 180 and export at 1x PNG, and you'll be fine. All right, so let's do that. Yeah, good to go. So probably don't need to save that. I don't know why the site doesn't want to be published yet, but yeah, we'll get to it. And this is the frame we'll be working on. Yeah. By the way, I'll send this to the chat so uh everyone can probably just follow along, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Background color is usually okay. First thing I usually do is set the background color, which is this, and yeah, set that. The reason I do this on the desktop layer itself is so that all the basically when you refresh your browser, so hopefully I'll show you something. You have a site like Basel.com, and when you try to, scroll more than the page, you see that everything still remains black. But for some sites, that is not the case. And this is one I built, but I'll still show you. So when you try to scroll beyond the page, you still see the white. Well, it doesn't show up, but yeah, I hope you get what I mean. So the idea is to have the base color also on the browser canvas. And that's why I set it on the desktop. And we'll get back to that. And yeah, I want to start adding my first frames. But before that, I'll set this to stack. And I can do that by clicking the layout. And that's already set. I want to set the gap to 0 and the paddings to 0, start, and of course center line. So that's okay now for now. Next, I'll be making use of a plugin, right? Call it Figma to HTML to Framer. So probably just grab the plugin and yeah, that's this. And yeah, so I've copied that, copy to clipboard. So that basically just copies the site. So next thing I want to do is to create a container. Let's do that by pressing F, set the width to fill, and then set the height to its content. But before I can do that, just set it to layout and then set the height to its content because there's nothing here at the moment. So yeah, we have that already. So that was good. Set the padding to 120. Then for desktop and the gap to 80. These are the values I usually just use. So I can take this off and then um, yeah, that was good, not so bad, I think. Yeah, so far so good. We'll come to that later. And yeah, this was okay too. And then probably want to work on the button. So I'll be making a component out of that. Yeah. So create component button. Yeah. And that is that. And then create a variant where you just Yeah, create a variant. So this is download on App Store, and this is download on App Store. Yeah, I think I'll just work with that. Then okay. Okay, for some reason this components. Oh, so there's some error. Component does not exist. We have this. That's crazy. All right, so I think I'll just do a drag and drop. Just go to assets, projects, and then button. Oh dear. Yeah, we'll get to that. Oh dear. Yeah. Anyways, we can just take this out. Yes. Yeah, can take this and have the container. Next is the image. I want to grab the image, and I think I can just export as a PNG, and that will be fine. Set the container to fit. Right. And that's bad. That wouldn't work. But let's see. All right, that wouldn't work that way because of the glowing effect. So I guess we have to do it another way. So I'll have to work on this image in Figma. And let's do that. Okay. Okay. I probably take out the mask. Yeah, we have the image. Yeah, we have the image now. And I'll export to the container so that it maintains a centralized look than just exporting with the image. If I exported with the image, then it doesn't look centered. As opposed to if I did with the container. I guess it doesn't matter, doesn't really matter. So let's try again. All right. So yeah, this should be next one. And yeah, we can change the direction. And this should be it. So yeah, we're getting somewhere. Getting somewhere, so I probably can take this off. Then I want to export the glue. All right, so do that. Oh dear, that's too bright. So yeah, let's see. So probably just rename this to image. and add it to a container, like add stack. And then inside of this, I want to paste the image. So I'm going to make this absolute, and then I'm going to centralize it. And then I'm going to give it like blending of overlay, and probably just type this glue. And this should be illustration. Let's see. Okay. Not as impressive as I want it to be. But I think it will pass for now. We can come back to this later. You can probably be more precise with it. All right. So next thing I want to do is add a mask to this. Because as you can see, there is a smooth fade to the bottom. So I'll just click on styles, add a mask. And I probably want to do that only to the image though. So add a mask. To the image. And be good. Yeah, getting there. Right. So I probably skipped a couple of things. For this container, I could just name this container or whatever. Yeah, I'll set the bottom padding to 0 because we have the mask already, so that should be fine. So I think I want to adjust this the more. All right. So yeah, we have something. So next we want to bring in this frame. So we use the plugin again. Mm, try that. And we'll see. We paste in the desktop. Probably not as good as we want it, but we can always adjust that. All right. This is the icon. Yeah, and this is icon. Okay. Set this to fill. Set this as well to fill. And we also want to do the same thing here. So you have fill. So my rule of thumb is usually just set everything to fill and then give it a max width. So here I'll just give the max width of 400. Yeah, that gives me what I want. I'll probably just ignore this for now. And considering we have some animation with the brand text and this logo here, I'll probably have to adjust that manually. But for the rest of them, usually just set to fill and then add a max width. Same thing applies to this. The max width of a minimum. And yeah, that's a max width here. So not the best, so I'll probably just convert this to an image and then yeah, whatever. Okay, so copy this as image and And copy as PNG should work, hopefully. Yeah, that works. So yeah, we could set this to fill as well. And then I'll do the same for this. Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll see. Okay. I'm gonna move this and we'll see. Okay. So let's go again. And I want to see the width of this. So that's 332. Okay, so probably the amount of 320. And do the same for this. Yeah, this is good. So give it a gap property just like we have in Figma. And of course this fill max width 500. Yeah, that makes sense. And why do we have something? What was that? Okay, so let's see. Yeah, makes sense. So I'll probably set this overflow to visible and right align. So that'll be end. Okay. Uh, remove stack. I think that's not required. So what do we have here? 64. Probably just use 64 all around. And yeah, we're good. 64 as well, yeah. So this will be bottom, yeah. So at the bottom 64, right? Oh dear. And then at the bottom we have 0. And that is that. At the top we could also have 0. Just set this to fit. And then we're going to add that 64 to this container to just get what we want, the view we want here. So I think that's good to go. I'll add this to the container as well, and give it pattern of 64 as well. Gap, want to set it to 0, and yeah, does that work? No, that doesn't work. Okay. Set this to 0. Okay. Since it doesn't work. Now you know what? I remove the stack and make it absolute. No, that doesn't work either. Okay, I'm gonna be hacky here for a little bit, and then just set this back to 64 and give this a mask, right? And then let it flow. Don't blame me, I'm the designer here, so I get to set the rules. And yeah, 24, I think. I think that works. Probably get to it later and then fix it up, but for now, we'll have it like this. And why doesn't this have any color? Okay, leave the heading. Then this should be. That's not supposed to happen. That should be manual input. Yeah. And I'm just going to make this field. And yeah, would have this later. Uh, yeah, good to have this later. Get to that. Needs a little bit more precision. Please, please, please. That's why this list. So I'm just going to remove this stack. Okay. Something is not right there. Yeah, remove this as well. Okay. Yeah, add this here. System. Also add this here. Yeah. So I'm gonna set to fill. Yeah, so that works. All right, we have this. And I think it looks good. So I can duplicate this and just change the text, right? Instead of doing the whole thing again. And yeah, we have this. So yeah, we're going to work on this. We just do this spending trends. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this as PNG as we've been doing and paste. And then of course, you remember to lock it. And that's why it gives you the same aspect ratio. And yeah, I'll duplicate this and then take this out. So we have this. And yeah, okay, so this should come down. This goes up, and then of course you have to revert 0 64. Probably just delete this at this point and duplicate here. We get the images. So copy as PNG. And set to fill. Probably just have whatever. Okay, so have this and then have this as well. and then of course set to fill, and that was good. So now we have to change the color. What does it say? And then this. And this blend mode, add lights. All right. Okay. So probably just have another background here. Set it to absolute. Set this to 0 all around so that it fixes. So I could just call these gradients. But yeah. And yeah, copy the fill here and paste it here. And then set this button to this color. Set this card to this color. And yeah, then I've set these gradients to hard lights. Probably set the, yeah, blending, that will be hard lights, yeah. So we get that color. Probably want to do the same thing for this. So paste it in, copy the gradient here, and paste here. And the card color would have to be yeah, would have to be that. Yeah, so we got what we wanted, and we're getting somewhere. Don't bother about this yet, the tablet and the mobile. Just finish up the desktop and then we're good to go. Do the same here. Copy the gradients colors here. And yeah. Okay. So copy and paste just like we've been doing. And the same thing. Oh dear. Okay. And we do the same for this. Remember, feel free to ask questions. Feel free to. I may not sit in the chat, so you want to probably get my attention. And yeah, copy as PNG, right? And then we'll replace this. Set to fill and do the same here. Fill, yeah, good to go. Probably can add this later. And let's see about this. Okay. Probably going to hide this. And the reason is because there should be an interaction coming with that. So yeah. That is to fill, add it to a container because they're probably going to be yeah. So we have this, we're probably going to do the same for this and this and this. copy as PNG. Is that? No. Yeah, please that here. All right, so do the same for the second. And do the same for the third. Oh dear, yeah. So you're going to add this to a stack. Call it image, call it whatever. Set this to absolute and center it. Of course, we want to maybe minus 40, minus 40. I think that's fine. And yeah, we want to set everything to, okay. We want to set everything to fill. Yes. Or not. So we set this to okay, set this to absolute. And you want this to be visible. This, yeah, want this to be visible. And we also want this to be visible. So the container to be visible. That's okay. Okay. All right. We're getting somewhere. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. So we have that something close. Then we probably want to bring the whole container down and go to the bottom, I guess, and then see 20, yeah, 80. Ah, that works. Oh yeah, we've done that. Have to go up. And we are there. So next to be this, we want to just use the plugin and copy. Yeah. So this set to fill, and this 64, I think that works. Maybe I just do 14. All right. Probably have to adjust the font sizes, but I think that's good. We'll do the same here. And just copy. All right. Okay. That's good. And what next? Do you have the payment? We can also do the same thing here with a plugin. And then copy to clipboard. And yes. Yeah, probably need to work on this. Okay. And let's see. Okay, do the same. And we do the same. Yeah, that works. Set it button and set this to a layout as well. But we don't need this. So yeah, we'll do the same thing here. And this should be bottom. Yeah, we're good to go. Almost. Remember what we did last here? We do the same thing here. Pick the gradients, paste it here, and change the colors. Yes. And you probably want to set the background to this color. And okay. Yeah, that'll be that. Okay. So yeah, I think we're good to go. Probably have to come back to these. There's some of them. Yeah, set to fill, and you're good to go. Come back to the adjustments later, like I mentioned. And I want to do the same for this. So for this, I'll probably just take this out because this will have to be a component, and then copy this with the plugin. And yeah, okay. I'll probably just copy this as well, just to finalize this and get going. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that. So let's come back and fix this up. First things first, I would have to adjust the font sizes, and I have to create font styles. So this would be H1, and add breakpoints to it. So instead of using I'll just use this. Okay, so that works. I'll do the same for this. Okay, probably shouldn't be bold. Bold should be bold. Italics should be italics. Yeah. By the way, this is Marrow depreciated. Okay. And yeah, so that's it. So I can now make this bold. Okay, still having challenges. Bold will be bold. And that should work. All right. Get back to that. Extra minus 8 degrees. Okay. Okay, I think that looks fine. All right. So just rename H1, and this will have to be a paragraph. And that is that. Okay. So for this, I have to make, okay, so 56, and let's see. Yeah. All right. Do the same for mobile. Okay. Gap is 0. All right. So probably adjust this. Okay. So this will be 40 all around. Okay. You probably don't want to adjust your text. Otherwise, if you change it, it wouldn't change. It shouldn't change on mobile. So if I make changes to this on desktop, and let's say I added S or something, notice that it doesn't reflect on the mobile. So only do this in rare cases. Not exactly best practice. Probably will find another way to just do it. And yeah, I think I should just do that now. So I just have to reset every override. So the blue markers are for content that have been overridden. So I'll just create a separate. No, I have to do that on the desktop breakpoint. So anything you're doing has to be on the desktop breakpoint. So I'll add stack container. 0 and compare it. So in desktop, I'll just hide it, and on mobile, I would just reveal it. Does that work? I don't know. Not exactly. So let's see. Oh dear. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I'll probably be fine just editing it. Okay. Like I said, last resort only. Let's even try this. By the way, this should all be censored, so I don't have that problem here. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I think that resolves it, but you should probably be cautious. I'll probably just have it to do that whenever the text changes, then of course the mobile will have to change. And only done in rare cases, like I said. You do not want to be tweaking your text every time. So yeah, we have the okay, so this was cut off Y, all right. So set this to 80 and it's still cut off. So I'll probably just set this to disable on desktop. Remember, if you have any challenge, you want to resolve that on desktop. And yeah, that's my result. And you're good to go. So look at mobile this time around. And what do we want to do? Interesting. Probably give it the max with mm, let's see. I think that works. Okay, that works. And for the all right, so that works as well. Okay, we've resolved that on. So something I like to do, which is the most I usually do on breakpoints, is to adjust the paddings. So tablet for me is usually 80, and desktops are 120, and mobiles are 40. Most of the time, anyway. So we do that 80 for all desktop breakpoints, for all tablet breakpoints. Sorry. You want to have as little overriding content as possible across your breakpoints, so that whatever change you make on one will be reflected in the other. And 40 and 40. and 40 and 40 and 40 and of course 40 again. I'll come back to this one. I'll probably need some precision. Yeah, so I want to make this a grid, guess. So columns, rows 2. We'll see. Okay. So remove stack and then I make this a grid to okay. And then the third card would have to span 2 columns. Yeah. All right. So how do we do this? Height view. Okay. So advanced height view container. So why is it not responding? Okay. So see. Okay. Probably grid is not the best option for me. So I'll leave assist and just adjust manually here. That's not bad. And do the same here. Okay. For this, I probably want to hide one illustration. Or would that work? That's not bad. Yeah, probably just hide this. Yeah. Then of course centralize this and this. Okay, we're getting our running and same thing here. Change the direction. And okay, so we needed some fixes here. We'll remove the max width and we'll see. Does that work? I don't think so. So relative and FR probably the same thing. So I'll just center this and we'll see. Center this and we'll see how that goes. Okay. So this isn't filled yet, so I just want to do that. And yeah, the same for all the headings, I guess, and the subheadings. Okay. So fill, yeah. Oh dear. Set this to fail and give it a mark switch of 100. And what next? Okay, probably need some help here, but for now we're good. And this as well. Okay, just grab it again. Let's give it a mark switch. Do the same here. Mark switch of 400. Okay, good. 100% relative unit, same as your 1FR. So, but I just like the units to be consistent. If you have it like that, there's nothing wrong with it. Just for consistency sake. And I noticed I didn't change something here. Yeah, smart suggestions. Okay. And what else? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So remember, anything about responsiveness has to be on desktop. Yeah, next time we'll be giving the styles so that if you make changes to the styles later on, they can encourage the change. So I'll start with the paragraph text, and then the H2s and the H3s. Okay, so set them to paragraph and work on the alignment. You can adjust the alignment for each of them, definitely. It's supposed to be bold here. Okay. Okay, I notice that the bold is not as bold as I want it to be, so that's probably because of this setting. Yeah, that works for the paragraph now. Okay, so work on the H2s now. New style heading 2. So add breakpoints and Let's see. Yeah, that's okay. So that works. 48. Or does that work? Just set this to 40 instead of 64. Some things are not going to be 100% as they are in your designs, so it's important to note that. And then this, of course, is going to be 40 as well. So yeah, now I can adjust the H. And yeah, okay. All right, so that's our H2. That's our H2. And just rename this to H2. Yeah, and this should be H2 as well because you should only have one H1 in your design. And that should be the hero or whatever you want to make it. But ideally, only one H1 in your design. H2 and H2 and H2. Yeah, and H2. H1. Yeah, and that is that. By the way, you can delete these buttons. We don't need them. I'll just add this to stack, I guess. Okay. And what is here? What? That's okay. Okay, getting somewhere. But maximum width. No, definitely not. No. Okay, so back to top. This would have to be top. So we create a scroll section. So if you want to link something to something, hit the scroll section, and on the links, on the link pin, home section, top smooth, and let's see, and edit this, and probably just add another line. Yeah, underline on hover, and you're good to go. So I'll rename this to L1. So link one, and yeah, set this to paragraph. Set this also to paragraph. Remember, everything has to be attached to some text style. And I think we are good to go. So the last icon container here wasn't properly copied, so I'll just do that. That should be this. I'll copy with this again, and this, and hopefully, why is it that way? Interesting. So let's go again. Let's try again. Let's see. Okay, let's go again. And let's paste here. It's still coming out as an image. Yeah, I guess we have to work with it that way. Yes, so I'll just duplicate this, and then later on we can. So what's the problem? Oh yeah. So later on we can change the logos. So for now, I think this would work. And I still don't know why we still have the extra gap here. Okay, disable. Yeah, remove stack. And there's still something. There is still some. There is still some. Okay, we'll debug that later. I don't know what that is. And that will be routine. Okay. Okay. Almost there. Almost there. Okay, so I'll leave that as it is. I think it looks better. So yeah, here's this to 40. That should be good. 40. And if I wanted to open this, all right. So I don't need the paragraph. I think I can make a system. That works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see. I can truncate this to say 8. Let's do 7. Yes, so that works, kinda. Does it? Or maybe just okay. So no truncating. You just have to make everything feel. And yeah, that works. Here, going to have to make it bits instead. Yeah. Same thing here. Everything it's what do we have here? Okay, so this is H3. It's supposed to be H3. Rename this to H3. Oh dear. Oh dear. And because it can edit and adjust and centralize and bold is bold, please. And there should be text 2 and 0 and there should be 40 with 30. Um, yeah, we're good to go. Okay. Let's mm, okay. So that's that. Yep. Yeah, we're good to go. Okay. So, so this should be card, not lists, and cards, whatever. So, okay. Yeah, I think I probably will fine with naming everything container, but we'll see. Okay, so let's get every history to be history. So this should be left aligned. Let's see. History, history. Okay, that is making more sense. Let's see. Okay, no, no, no. 16. Okay, so I'm using Max Suite of 960 because I think it's perfect. You ask me. In the design, it was 1,200, but because I'm the designer, I can do whatever I want. And yeah, so I can see that this hasn't published yet, and we have no way of previewing our live design. And that is okay. Okay, so couple things here and there that we'll have to fix. For instance, this. Mm, okay, so let me try reloading this tab and see if that fixes our challenge. Well, let me try this on the web. The thumbnail still doesn't show, which is weird. Oh yeah, so that's published. I don't know. Yeah, crazy. All right, so we can probably see this on the web. So I'll just add a domain. So extract.grammar.websites, and yeah, you can see how that looks on the web. So this will probably help us to fix some issues. But yeah, I can notice something here. So I probably have to set that container to visible or something. Yeah. Or I'll just have to take out the fill here, I think. Yeah, I think that should fix it. So let's go again. Let's do that here. And let's go again. Um, yeah, still shows. Okay, so this fill is out, and then let's see. Set this to visible. Set this to visible. Let's go out. Yeah, that works. And hooray, our website doesn't dangle. So I'll copy this link and you can visit on your end while we still work on it. I think I'll probably be out in the next 10 minutes. We'll see. Okay, for some reason, the app works in a weird way. I don't even know why I use it. And our page title is not set up yet. It's not reflecting because it should show this and it's not. So try again. And if I can't publish on desktop, then there's probably no point in working on desktop. So I'll just switch to browser. And yeah, so I think it's time to work on the button. Yeah. Oh, there's something was wrong with that crazy bitch. All right, so it's time to okay. So let's have the hover, and then okay. So let's have this solid, and then that should be 16. Okay, that works. I can add this and probably have Right. Okay. So do something. How far we have the text and then we can have 24. No? Yeah, that works. So we have variant 2 with the hover. So this would probably be, so we call this App Store. And we call this Play Store. So then hold on App Store. Ah, okay. So, okay. And I think I'm go with PNG. I don't know what this is here. Then this, I'm also cool with PNG. Yeah. So yeah. And okay. And probably have this instead. Set it to, okay. So this is Play Store. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Yeah. So a lot of the things I was worrying about not working on desktop was actually because of the bug. Um, at least now I know not to try the app anymore. Okay, you have the buttons ready. I just add that to the background. Yeah. And that's getting somewhere. Okay. So I'm going to get the Play Store link and the App Store link. By the way, this is already live, but we decided to, yeah, we decided to switch the build to Framer. Number one is the reason is because it will be easier for me to manage and the dev can focus on building the features. So yeah, would add the link. Let's see. Link to the Play Store, and it should be App Store. Okay. All right. So you can check the build again and see. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, probably should replace these buttons. And that's dope. Yeah, that works as it should. Terms of use and privacy policies. So this should also link to a page, but we'll get to that. And that's a lot. Yeah, I have to replace the buttons here. And we actually also need a variant. Okay. So this is system assets. Assets. Okay. All right. Okay. 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 All right. So we'll see. Then I'll copy this, the rest. Okay. App Store and Play Store. Text over. Green. Okay. Okay. So hit send this. Copy this effect and this here. Copy this effects and paste here. And just gonna have this assistant. Yeah. Okay. 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 I'm just going to work on this and then that will be all. But I'll be leaving here by 2. So yeah. Set this to pure. Going to have to replace this icon and use like a default icon. So that's covers done. Okay. Set. Okay. All right. So this is gonna be paragraph bold, text align, and you're going to have to use. Okay. So I'm going to check on the Figma file. And see how that looks like. Okay. Okay. So I have this F0 100, and then F0, and yeah. That's crazy. So I should be able to rotate this. I don't see the rotate option. Okay. Okay. Rotate. That's fine. All right. We'll leave assist and yeah. Okay. So just name this as glue and have it here. And that should be absolute. Okay. Oh dear. Ah, I don't know why there's so many books today.
I think I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you like did you switch from using the Framer app on the desktop to like the website, or like you've been using the same one since? Because I think like on my end I can do like some of the things you're able to do, or maybe because
Okay, so I switched to using the app I switched from the app to the browser because it wouldn't publish the website and there are some minor pesky bugs. that I noticed. But
Okay.
I think the bugs are in the Framer platform overall because now I can't rotate this gradient, and I used to be able to do that, and I don't know why. So I'll try again with the app and see if that fixes it. But then it sucks switching between app and web. I'm
Okay.
not a fan of the app though, but I just thought it would be cool for this experiment.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh yeah, can you imagine? Now it works on the app. Oh, now the rotation works on the app, but it didn't work on the web. That's crazy. Should probably fix up whatever is their problem. Mhm. Okay.
Um, Sorry, another question. Does that mean
Go
like
ahead.
you can publish like the website from the app? You just have to use the browser.
No, you can.
Okay.
Like I said, that was a bug that needed fixing. Probably my system. So you can't publish from anywhere. You can't do anything you do on the web, on the app, and vice versa.
Okay.
Okay, now I can create the components out of this. Call it a picture. So probably be question, then answer. Okay, so I'm going to create a variable length test and call it question, and also going to create a variable formatted text and call it answer. And probably will not. It's going to mess up most things. Okay, I think that will be all for now. So, all right, I think I'll just finish up this and then that'll be that. So the default and the secondary should be open. So this should wait, yeah. So this is open and then this is yeah. Then no, then let's see. Okay, so okay, okay, so let's see. Okay, 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 that works. All right. I don't know why this is not applying as it should, but yeah, it's a later. All right, so I'll just add the questions and the answers, and that'll be it. Welcome back, Mr. Favor. How are you doing? And nice to see you, Nadine. Curious why you joined with your. Okay, so this is still streaming. Probably, so I'll leave the question for later. Okay, and okay, I hate FAQs. Okay. Okay. That is that. So yeah, thanks for joining. And yeah, I mean